We are back. It is week 1 of the NFL season. It is time for my weekly picks. Back at it again. This season, the Philadelphia Eagles host the Cowboys, the defending Super Bowl champions, Banner Night, which apparently Nick Sirianni didn't know that it was Banner Night because he's so locked in. So, with that being said, the Eagles are favored by 8.5. Give me the Eagles. I don't know if they cover. I hope it's a good game. I think the absence of Micah Parsons is going to be a big deal. But the Dallas Cowboys offense, Dak Prescott, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, they're going to be pretty solid. See how they match up against the Philadelphia Eagles defense. But ultimately, I think the Eagles will get the best of them. Give me the Eagles. And then on Friday night, we have a game in Brazil. The Kansas City Chiefs are the away team, and the Chargers are the home team in this game. The Chiefs are favored by 3.5. Now, the Chargers, they did make the playoffs last season. The Chiefs did as well. They made it all the way to the Super Bowl and ultimately lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. So both teams playing on back-to-back nights to open up the season. This game, give me the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs, and until proven otherwise, they're going to win the games that they should win. It's not in LA, not in our Charger territory, so the Chargers, I guess, lose out on a home game against the Chiefs, which kind of sucks. Kind of weird that the NFL scheduled a division game at a neutral site. But I don't know. Then we move on to Sunday, September 7th. This is where the bulk of the games are going to happen. This is where the Colts play. This is where everybody else plays. The Dolphins at the Colts. The Colts are favored by 1.5. This game, you can go either way with it. Last season, the Colts played the Dolphins, beat them 16-10. You can't go based off of last season because Tua Tagovailoa did not play against the Colts that week. And he's going to play against the Colts this week. You're going to have a healthy Tyreek Hill. You're going to have Jalen Waddle. Devin Achane, once he gets running the ball, the Dolphins are virtually unstoppable. So, what are you going to get from the Dolphins offense? On the flip side, what's the Dolphins defense going to get? You have a banged-up secondary. The Dolphins have a pretty good defensive line. They've added a few rookies. So this game is somewhat tough to predict on who's going to do what. Me personally, I think the Colts finally snapped the streak of not winning a season opener since 2013. So give me the Colts, -1.5. I think they cover. 27-24. I think it'll be a good game. Colts win by a late field goal by Spencer Schrader. Moving on to you got week 1. Who cares? Game of the week. Neither of these teams, to me, are going to make the playoffs, especially the Saints. But you got the Cardinals traveling to New Orleans to play the New Orleans Saints. I don't think this game is going to be very good, not because both teams suck, but the Saints are just going to be dog shit all year long. Cardinals will probably blow them out. Give me the Cardinals. The Raiders at the Patriots. Now, this is a big game for both teams because if you look at it, the Raiders are sneaky good. They might be good. And the Patriots, I think, coached by Mike Vrabel. Drake May's pretty good quarterback. They've added some talent to their roster. I think that the Patriots are going to be a wild card contender. I don't think they're going to win the East because I think the Bills are this year's Super Bowl champion. But I think the Patriots are going to make a very, very solid run at the wild card. I don't know if they make it because the AFC is so stacked with teams. But I think the Patriots end up winning this game, and I think that will prove pivotal on down the road when these teams are neck and neck fighting for that wild card spot. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the brand new old quarterback Aaron Rodgers, starting his first game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Where is it at? None other than New York, the team he previously played for, the Jets. The Pittsburgh Steelers are favored by 2.5. The Jets have a new quarterback in Justin Fields. I think that the Steelers are going to win this game. I don't think the Jets really have a chance. But it's in New York. A new season brings new hope. So the fans might be a little rowdy. I don't know. And they might be booing the hell out of Andrew Luck, Jesus Christ, out of Aaron Rodgers. But give me the Steelers in that matchup. Another division rivalry, the Giants at the Commanders. The Commanders are favored by 6.5. The Commanders are fresh off of their NFC Championship game run, where they ultimately lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. They had a hell of a season. I think that the expectations in Washington are pretty high. I don't think that, like the Patriots, I don't think that the Commanders are going to win the division because the Eagles are just so good. But I definitely think the Commanders have a legitimate shot at making it to the wild card. They start off on the right foot here against the New York Giants in Week 1. Another game that I could say it's the who cares game of the week, but the Jaguars could potentially be in the mix for the wild card spot or even the division when it's all said and done. So this game kind of matters, but I don't think the Panthers are going to do anything this season. The Panthers at the Jags. The Jags are favored by 3.5. And we all know about the new coach, Liam Cohen, come from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the offensive coordinator. He looked good with Baker Mayfield. Maybe it was that Baker Mayfield. Maybe it was Liam Cohen. I don't know. But the Jags got a new head coach. The Panthers kind of the same thing, but they started coming on later last season. Can they bring that momentum into this season? Can Bryce Young continue to progress? I don't know. But I do think the Jacksonville Jaguars get a good quality win in Week 1 against the Panthers. What's Trevor Lawrence going to be? In the past, Trevor Lawrence has been inconsistent. He's played well in weeks, and then he's, played not so well in other weeks. He's the first overall pick a few drafts ago, and he hasn't quite panned out. Can Liam Cohen get him to where he needs to be, where he is thought he should have been by this point in time? We'll see. The Bengals at the Browns. The Bengals have gotten off to a slow start the last couple of seasons, which has been much to their detriment because last season they got off to an 0-3 start, 1-4, and then ended the season 9-8, right? So they started off the season 1-4, went 8-4 down the stretch to finish the season and still missed the playoffs. And Joe Burrow was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. 4,900 yards, 40-plus touchdowns. I think he had 9 or 11 interceptions. Joe Burrow was a monster last season. Jamar Chase had 1,700 yards, 17 touchdowns. Bengals really should be in contention for the playoffs, if not the division, with the Ravens. Really, they're a healthy Joe Burrow, you're a Super Bowl contender. That's how good Joe Burrow is. And also, it helps that you have one of the best receivers in the league, Jamar Chase. Give me the Bengals in this one. This is big for them. They're favored by 5.5 on the road in Cleveland. I think this is a big game for them. You got to get off on the right foot. The Bengals have struggled in the past. Give me the Bengals. The final 1 o'clock game, Sunday, the Buccaneers take on the Atlanta Falcons. I think this is one of the more intriguing games of the season. The Buccaneers are without their offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen. Obviously, he went to the Jaguars, like I said. The Atlanta Falcons, Penix, Bijan Robinson's projected to have a pretty good season. What's Kyle Pitts going to be like? Is he going to finally have a breakout season? Who knows? But this is one of the more tough games to pick. The Buccaneers are favored by 2.5, but I look at this game and it's in Atlanta. I like the Falcons going into this season. I think they're a wild card contender, and as well as the NFC South. I want to say front runner, but you've got the Buccaneers and the Falcons. Those two teams are going to be duking it out for the top spot in the NFC South. It's not going to be the Panthers, and it's not going to be the Saints. It's going to be between these two teams. So this is a very big game. Give me the Atlanta Falcons. I think that's the first team I've picked against the spread this entire time. I've gone all chalk thus far. Up next, we've got the 49ers taking on the Seahawks at 4:25 out west in Seattle. The Seahawks had a solid season last year. 49ers had kind of a down season. They had a lot of injuries. They got a lot of people back from injuries. They are favored by 2.5. But it's in Seattle. Seattle now has Sam Darnold. They moved on from Geno Smith. Geno Smith went to the Raiders. Sam Darnold's now in Seattle. They don't have DK Metcalf anymore. I think that could be big. This week 1, since I don't know what to make of these two teams, I'm going to go with Seattle just because of the home team. Just a few more games to go. I know this has been a long video. Thank you for hanging in there. The Tennessee Titans at the Denver Broncos. I think this is one of the easier games to pick of the week. The Titans, rookie quarterback Cam Ward in his first start on the road in a hostile environment against a playoff team, a team that is going to be there at the end. The AFC is so stacked that I'm not going to sit here and say that they're guaranteed to make the playoffs because injuries, stuff like that happens. But give me the Broncos in week 1. They're 8.5-point favorites. I think covering that. I think they win by 10 points. Give me the Broncos. The Lions at the Packers. This is one of the better, more intriguing games of the week. It got a lot of good games this week. The Lions at the Packers. Micah Parsons coming in to Green Bay. What's he going to be like? The Detroit Lions, without their coordinators, they moved on. What are they going to be like? I'm really, really interested to see. The Lions had a disappointing end to their season last year, losing in the opening round, their opening round of the playoffs, to the Washington Commanders. I think the Lions have something to prove this season. Obviously, never made it to the Super Bowl. They want to get there. They were really close 2 seasons ago. Disappointing season ago. But the Packers, they're primed, ready to go. They made moves for them to make a charge at this division. I think this is going to be a really close game. It's in Lambeau. Lambeau is a top 5 toughest place to play in the NFL. Week 1, give me the Packers. The Texans at the Rams, the final 425 game. The Houston Texans made the playoffs last season. They won the AFC South. They actually won a playoff game. They ultimately lost to the division to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Rams also made the playoffs, and they had a pretty solid game against the Philadelphia Eagles. They ultimately ended up losing that game. The Rams are favored by 3.5 points. All season long, there's been speculation, there's been questions about Matthew Stafford and his injury status, more specifically his back. He's, by all accounts, and from the looks of it, he's going to start. He's going to play the season. I don't know how this season's going to go for Matt Stafford. He's got a new wide receiver in Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp. Now, something I want to point out about Cooper Kupp. Okay. Why is Cooper Kupp so lowly ranked? That's who Sam Darnold has, is Cooper Kupp. Why is Cooper Kupp so low ranked in fantasy football? Did I miss something? Did he not have a good season last year? I don't know. Okay. I snagged him. I saw that he was there. I'm like, what? Cooper Kupp? Are you kidding me? Snag. Got him on my fantasy team. So, I did forget about that. When I was talking about Sam Darnold, I did forget that he was on the Seahawks. I think that I just don't know why he was ranked so low. Anyway. Rams were without Cooper Kupp, but they got Devontae Adams. I want the Rams to win because the Texans are our biggest division rival. Probably the team that's most in our way. Okay, talk about the Jaguars. I don't really believe in the Jaguars, not quite yet. Go ahead and give me the Texans, though. I think the Texans come out strong in week 1. Surprise a lot of people because they are injured. We've got a lot of injuries going on, but I think the Texans got a good quarterback. Who knows what's going to happen with the Rams. That's just my gut feeling. I know it doesn't make much sense for me to go through like the Rams roster as far as Devontae Adams and Matthew Stafford goes. I think the Texans have a legitimate shot in this game. The Ravens at the Buffalo Bills. This game, rematch of the divisional round last season. Really, whoever won that game, I guess, ended up winning the MVP. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, week 1. What? Come on. This is one of the biggest games of the season already. Both of these teams are going to be there fighting for a top spot in the AFC, top 2 or 3 seed, right? In the AFC. And come January, you don't want to go to Buffalo, and vice versa. You don't want to go to Baltimore. And what if these 2 teams play again in the playoffs? You want to be at your home stadium. So this is a massive, massive game. It's in Buffalo. Buffalo's favored by 1.5. Go ahead and give me Buffalo on Sunday night. I think this is going to be an excellent game. I think this is going to be the game of the weekend. Finishing off the weekend on Monday night, the Minnesota Vikings take on the Chicago Bears. The Vikings have a new quarterback at the helm after losing Sam Darnold. He went over to Seattle. Now it's J.J. McCarthy, from Michigan, second-year quarterback in the NFL. He didn't play last season. Now, how is he going to be against the Chicago Bears, who there's a lot of questions surrounding the Chicago Bears and Coach Aaron Glenn and how he is a Ben Johnson? I don't know. I'm trying to get through this with just off the memory. One of the two Lions coordinators went to the Chicago Bears and is now the head coach of the Chicago Bears. And there's been apparently some issues with him, and I don't know, just rumors and shit that I've been hearing. I don't buy into the hype with Chicago. Okay, they added a few free agents. Caleb Williams looks like he's going to be a better quarterback, but I just don't buy it. And the Vikings, they were a game away from being the number 1 seed last year. Now, I know that they went from a veteran quarterback to a young quarterback now who's never started. I don't think he started a game in the NFL. It's going to be an interesting thing, and I think that he might struggle. Okay? You have one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the league, Justin Jefferson. You're going to have a pretty good debate between Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. I think I'd go with Jamar Chase by a little. But anyway, I'm going to go with Vikings. I think the Vikings get it done on the road against the division rival Chicago Bears. I do not know how long this video is. If you stay till the end, I really appreciate it, because this felt like a long video. A lot to get into because there's just so many storylines going on with all these different teams. What are the Chiefs going to do? How is Travis Kelce going to play this season? What are the Eagles going to do? Is Saquon Barkley going to replicate his 2,000-yard season that he had a season ago? How are the Cowboys going to be without Micah Parsons? Are the Packers, did they get thrusted into a Super Bowl contender with Micah Parsons? How is his back going to do? Personally, obviously the Colts, Daniel Jones, is he going to play the entire season? Is it going to be an injury? Or is it going to be poor play? Or is he going to play well? There's so many storylines. I had to get into just a little bit on every team. And I know that this video is probably a really long one. But I really appreciate you guys watching. And as always, please give me a like. I thrive off those things. 5 likes on my videos. Yes. Anyway, subscribe, share, comment. Go Colts.